Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Will Patterson, again here with another video, and today we're talking more about the golden ratio and what these circles have to do with the golden ratio. So stick around and stay tuned because this video is going to be sick. This video is brought to you by DotSpace. So you may not know what is going on right here on my screen, but I've basically got a bunch of circles. But what if I was to tell you that these circles actually had a lot to do with an app that you may use a lot, or social media you may have used quite a lot? Well, if I go ahead and bring this back, you can see that it's a Twitter bird, and you may be like, Will, why have you created this with a bunch of circles around it? Well, it's because I'm going to show you today a practical way of using the golden ratio and how to practically use it without making mistakes. So if you don't know, that the golden ratio looks kind of something like this, and it's calculated at 1.618, and I can go into the mathematics of it if I was to look at the internet, but it is so confusing that I'm not even going to try and do it. All I know from a design prospect is that it works and it's just got great proportions. If you don't know, the golden ratio is to keep divine proportions of things. So we basically create this sort of shape here, and all we've done is to create this is basically go ahead and made a bunch of squares, and we multiplied each square by 1.618, which is the golden ratio. And to do this, you go ahead and create just a normal square like this, maybe make it a bit smaller, and we go ahead and we just make another one like this, and we basically go into our transform thing here and go times, which is that little asterisk, 1.618. And when we do that, it's times it by 1.618. And then we keep doing this all the way around. And this basically gives us the golden ratio. And what this does is it allows us to get proper proportions on our work. So to practically get you guys to understand this is the Twitter bird here. And it may look like I've put a bunch of random circles on it, but I haven't. What I've done is I've calculated the biggest circle here, which could be used right here. And I know it's not perfect. I need to spend more time on it to actually get it perfect. But basically, I worked out the biggest circle out of the grouping here. And all I've done is within these squares that I've created is I made a circle that went from one corner to the other corner, and it fitted perfectly. So I'm going to start again. I'm just going to delete that, and we've got our Twitter bird right there. So all I did was I worked out the biggest circle here worked right where I wanted it. So I just go ahead and alt dragged it down. And what I can do actually is show you, because I'm going to make it a bit bigger to show you. So I've got my whole section here. I'm going to work out where it is. So it's around about there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and just scale everything up, all the circles up, to keep the proportions of the rest of the circles. Now that is exactly, or more or less, the exact proportions of the work. I'm just going to make it a tiny bit smaller, because we're doing this from an actual vector standpoint. So I'm just going to make it a bit bigger again, just so we get it relatively perfect. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move all these to the side over here and keep them there so I can pick at them which ones I want to use. So obviously the first shape is going to be the circle here, and I'm going to work out exactly where it goes, which is round about there. And I'm going to be fairly quick about doing this. And you can do this with all your logos if you want to, if they follow this sort of rule. And in keeping with these circles here and the size we've got, it basically makes your logo look great because you've got divine proportions. Everything is scaled by 1.618. So we've got that circle there. The next one is going to be the head. So I'm going to try this one right here. That doesn't look correct. I'm going to try it here. Try it here. No, it doesn't look right. I'm going to go find the next one. So I'm going to find this one here, put it here, round about there. And I know this isn't perfect because I haven't spent the time setting up the document, but I'm hopefully going to give you sort of like a different preview of this. Then to keep the divine proportions, I'm not going to change anything else. I'm just going to go find these little feather parts here, work out which ones work best, which is not that one. Find this one here. Okay, that's the circle we want to use for the feathers. So I'm going to move this one here. So we're going to get another circle over here, this one right there for the feathers down here. And there we go. We've got this feather here. So we've got 3 different circles already, one for the feathers and one that's not for the feathers. So you can see there. And I'm going to copy and paste this circle, but just alt dragging to find that part here. And we just do the same, we just alt drag, find this part. And what we're doing is we're outlining the circle, because afterwards we can use the shape builder tool to basically get rid of the rest of the circles that we don't need, and everything will be of exact proportions to the golden ratio. And then here we've got a bit of a problem, so we need to go ahead and make this circle again, and basically move it up, and move it here, like so. Now, what about the beak? Well, we can try different circles for the beak. So we can try this one to see if it works. Does this one work? I think it does work. And then we go move it down a bit. There we go. And obviously I'm doing this very quickly. But you can see what I'm doing. I haven't actually changed the sizing of these circles since the start of the actual logo design process. And already we've got the logo there. Now, what do you do once you've got all these circles in place? Well, basically you just have to use a shape builder tool to make them disappear or unite together. So this is a really easy way of creating logo designs without using the pen tool. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy these over here just so we can view them later on. So copy them there just for fun. I'm going to group them. And then I'm going to highlight all of these other circles here. I'm going to press Shift and M, which is going to basically go to the shape builder tool. Now, if you hold Alt down, you'll see that my little cursor there is actually changing from a plus to a minus, because if I do this and hold a minus down, it's going to get rid of all these shapes that we don't need. So if this was a sketch, if the Twitter bird was a sketch, I'm just going to go ahead and delete all the bits that I do not want. Hello. And you can see fairly quickly what's happening here is I'm getting rid of the shapes that I don't want, like so. And the circles are working great. And there's no pen tool being used whatsoever. You don't need to use a pen tool. This makes the thing a whole lot easier for you to use. Get rid of them, like so. And then to unite everything, we just go ahead and get off Alt and just go to the plus one. And we just select all these, bring them together into one shape. I know it's not perfect at all because we've got some problems in here. If we zoom in, you can see some of them. It's a bit of a shape there we don't need. Do this, do that, do this. We can zoom right in here to get into these little nooks and crannies. And there we go. We have got the Twitter bird right there of divine proportions. And we can just go ahead and take the color of that. And literally I've got the vectored version of the Twitter bird right there, and it looks great because it's all keeping with the golden ratio. Now, a load of logos use this as well, so make sure that with your logo designs that you're using them to keep the great proportions of your work. Don't be scaling your circles once you've scaled it once. Keep all the circles at the same proportion to which ones you're using, and that's part of the challenge of logo design, keeping those circles the same whilst doing the work. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, subscribe down below. It is completely free to subscribe for more videos like this. Also, check out the sponsors link down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. See you later. This video is brought to you by DotSpace. DotSpace is a domain registration company that I use for my website and my portfolio at willpatterson.space. It's a really creative way of having a memorable domain name for your client website or portfolio. For more information and to get your discount, click the link in the description below.